Well, my research topic is based more on the education topics,
Okay.
based, and that's what I wanted to find out something like more into like where should I look because I'm finding a lot of articles on the internet, but I want to make sure that if it's peer reviewed and if it's academically reviewed and if it's valuable for the dissertation because I hear that a lot of information is there, but you have to be trustworthy for to be for a dissertation test. That's why I want to make sure that I'm doing the right search on this particular topic.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely address that. I think I sort of I'm focusing on business and org leadership, but I can definitely add education to that, no problem. And we'll definitely go over, how to, sort of limit your search to peer-reviewed or scholarly sources. There's some good tools or things that you can look for that will help you. Does anyone else have anything else that they want to focus on for this webinar? Since we have a kind of a small group, we can be sort of a little bit more flexible. Anyone else? All right. Well, I guess let's get started. All right. Does everybody see the screen?
Yes.
My slides? Okay. One other thing, at the end of the presentation, I will provide you with my email address. So if you wanted me to email you the slides, all you do is just send me an email, and I'll send you an email back with the slides attached.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so basically there's two different ways that you can search for articles in the online library, which I think hopefully you all know that you can access the online library in the student portal, or otherwise known as the Campus Commons. That's where you'll find all of our resources in the online library. Now, there's two different ways that you can search. You can use either the quick search, which is at the top of the screen, and I showed you a little screenshot. That enables you to search multiple databases at once. Or you could search the individual databases, which are listed under Find Articles or Browse by Field. Searching the individual databases, I think, is going to be a lot more effective in a lot of circumstances because it enables you to refine your search more effectively than it's possible with the quick search tool. I don't know if any of you have used the quick search tool to find articles. What are your impressions of that, the quick search? Have you been able to find what you're looking for using that tool, or has anyone had difficulty with it?
I use this quick search tool, but sometimes when I type whatever the topic I'm looking for, it brings me to something else that's not relevant to whatever I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly. I find that a lot too. So, as a librarian, because I do searches every day helping students, I almost never use quick search, to be honest. I mean, I think it's good, maybe at the end of your search to see if maybe you've missed anything. Maybe discover articles from sources that you may not have thought of searching, or maybe if you're just looking for a few quick articles. But otherwise, I don't really find that it's helpful, just because, as you said, you find a lot of articles that are just not relevant at all to your search or to your topic. So a better option for you is probably going to use the individual databases. If you do use quick search, it does help to use the advanced search and to limit, to a specific subject or type of resource. I've also included a link here for a guide to using quick search if you want it. But as I said, otherwise I think, you're going to search with more precision if you use individual databases. You'll get better results. Now, one of the problems, though, with looking under Find Articles or looking under, Find Articles under Business or Education, is that you get a long list, right, of different databases, and it's sometimes hard to choose where to start. But generally, you'll find that for each subject, whether it's business or education, there's really only a handful of really good core resources that you'll use over and over and over again. And the other ones are sort of supplementary to that. So, for example, actually this is relevant to all subjects. A good place to start sometimes is a Credo reference. You can find it under Find Articles or under Find Books. And it's a good place to go if you're looking for a definition of a term or a basic overview of a topic. The sources that you find in Credo are very subject-specific dictionaries, handbooks, and encyclopedias. So rather than citing, something in Wikipedia, for example, or some web resource or web dictionary, I think this is going to be a much better resource to look at. Because, as I said, these are all really good resources. Have any of you tried using the Credo reference, or?
I have not.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to point it out because, as I said, if you just need
But it looks
like
good. Looks very precise.
Yeah. And it's easy to overlook that we have this resource. I just wanted to point that out. Otherwise, if you're looking for scholarly articles for business, if you need case studies or company profiles, that kind of thing, a really good place to start is the ABI Inform database in ProQuest. So again, you'll find that under Find Articles or under the business link. And in this database, you'll find, a tremendous number of, articles, market research reports, company profiles, business cases, dissertations. It's a very comprehensive database, I think, and it's a really good place, I think, to start your search. And it's got some titles that are exclusive to this database, like the Wall Street Journal, for example, or The Economist. Now, if you needed to add additional databases in ProQuest, you can click at the top of the screen where it says you can change to add additional databases. So sometimes if your subject crosses over into other fields, like in business, oftentimes you may want to add maybe the psychology database, for example, like PsycInfo or PsycArticles, if it crosses over into the psychology field. I think you were saying that you were interested in education topics. So in your case, you would choose, maybe a database like ERIC, and then you would click at the top of the screen again where it says change. You're searching one database, click change, and then you can add another database like education journals or the social sciences journals. I think those would be like the key databases for you for education. But obviously with education too, I think you can also add a database like ABI Inform because I think, you might be looking at leadership issues or, I don't know. Education does often cross over into kind of the business type field. So you might want to search both of those. All right, any questions so far?
No.
All right. And this is what that page looks like when you select the databases. You can check mark additional databases to search. All right. And then another tip that I have is I think it's a really good idea to always use the advanced search. And that counts for any database that you search because I think it gives you more search options. And more search options often means that you get more relevant results. Hello, did somebody have a question? I hear somebody talking. Hello? Okay. So in the advanced search, one thing that you'll notice is that the default is all fields plus text. It's a really good idea to change that, I think it's called now all fields no full text. This is kind of an old screenshot, and I apologize for that. What that means is instead of searching for your keywords in the entire article, now you're just searching for articles in the major fields like the title, the abstract, the subject. So that's called all fields, no full text. And when I send you the slides, I'll change this screenshot so that it reflects the current how the database looks right now. You can also change that as well if you just want the keyword to show up in the abstract or the title, or if you know the author, you can always change it here under the search options. If you're not sure what search terms to use, I really like using the thesaurus sometimes because it shows me the different, like it shows me the broader terms, narrower terms, or related terms, and that will help me sometimes get better results this way, and also helps generate ideas for my research, because sometimes if you're sort of new to a subject, you might not be sure how a particular subject breaks down or what the related terms are. So the thesaurus can be really helpful for that. All right. And then there's always other search limiters. Of course, you can limit to full text, or here I think somebody was mentioning that they want to look at peer-reviewed sources. So this is where you would limit your search to peer-reviewed sources. Or you can limit it to a particular date range. So maybe if you're looking for the most recent information from the last 5 years, you can do that. One note about limiting to full text in ProQuest is that if you're doing an in-depth search, you may want to leave that off and not check full text. And the reason I say that is because, one, you may not see the full text that's available in some of our other databases, because, you know, sometimes there's a link where it says look for full text, and then it can take you to another database where that item is full text, and then you can open it up. And the other option that you have is, even if it isn't full text in any of our databases, you also have the option to order it through interlibrary loan. And I can show you a little bit later how that works or where that link is. All right. So here's some other limiters that you can use, and it really depends on the database that you're searching. For example, if you're searching in the ABI Inform database, it gives you options to limit your search to case studies, for example, or business case studies, or you can limit your search, I think in PsycInfo, for example, to only empirical studies, for example. If it doesn't give you an option to limit to empirical studies, you can also use the word empirical in as a keyword, if that's what you're looking for. And I know sometimes when you're doing a literature search or when you're writing a paper, your instructor might ask you, you know, you need to use some articles that are empirical studies. So that would be one way that you can sort of limit your search to just empirical studies.